night hung heavy over the small town of Black Hollow, nestled on the edge of the ancient everwood forest. The community was tight-knit, its people wary of the dark woods that whispered secrets and legends. For weeks now, a creeping fear had settled over the town. Reports of vicious attacks, bodies found torn apart, and eyes that gleamed like wildfire in the shadows. Sheriff Mark Dalton paced outside the latest crime scene, the skeletal remains of a deer lying nearby, its throat shredded with brutal precision. The townsfolk murmured tales. Some spoke of oaths, others of something darker. Children whispered about a shadow with glowing eyes that prowled the forest at night. The latest victim was a farmer found barely recognizable, his wounds suggesting a predator far stronger and more intelligent than any wolf known in the region. His wife, shaken and sobbing, insisted she heard a growl not quite human. Mark knew the unusual explanations wouldn't hold. There was something unnatural lurking just beyond the tree line, and it was hunting them. Under the cloak of darkness, the forest seemed alive, the wind carrying a haunting howl that echoed through the pines. Lights flickered in windows as families bolted doors and locked windows. The distant sound of dogs barking into the void. Amid the growing panic, the town's oldest resident, Old Man Crepes, sat by his fire and warned anyone who'd listen. The wolf that haunts these woods ain't no ordinary beast. It's the curse of the forest. Been here for centuries, waiting to rise again. The tension in Black Hollow was palpable, a slow burn that threatened to ignite. As the night deepened, eyes watched from the darkness, cold, calculating, and hungry. The hunt had begun. The following morning, a long figure stepped off the bus at Black Hollow's dusty stop. Lucas Kane, a withered man in his late 30s, with eyes sharp and haunted by shadows of the past. His leather jacket bore scars from years spent in the wild, tracking predators future to face. Word have traveled fast about the attacks, and Lucas had come with a singular purpose: to confront whatever terror haunted these woods. As he walked through the town, curious stares followed him. The locals whispered, some hopeful, others suspicious. Sheriff Mark met him outside the sheriff's office, extending a rough hand. "Kane, heard you deal with things no one else will touch." Lucas nodded, voice low but steady. "I'm here to find the truth, whatever out there. I want to stop it before more people get hurt." Inside the office, maps littered the table, marked with site of attacks and sightings. Lucas studied them carefully, his gaze flickering to the dense forest bordering the town. "The attacks started suddenly," Mark explained. "We have lost 5 already. No tracks, no signs, except for those who say they have been seen glowing eyes." Lucas grimaced. "Sounds like something more than just a wild animal." That night, Lucas ventured near the forest edge. The moon was a silver in the sky, shadows deepening with every step. The air was thick, shattered with the scent of pine and something else, coppery like blood. His flashlight beam caught faint scratches on the tree bark, deep, deliberate. Nearby, the shattered bones lay half buried in leaves. Then a low growl shattered the silence. Lucas froze, muscles coiled. His breath puffed in the cold air as a pair of glowing eyes emerged from brush. The beast stepped forward, towering, formatted eyes burning with intelligence and rage. Ensnarled, exposing razor-sharp teeth, Lucas raised his rifle, heart pounding. but before he could fire, the creature vanished into the darkness, leaving behind a chilling howl that echoed through the forest. Lucas exhaled slowly. This was no ordinary wolf. He was now part of a deadly game, a fight for survival against something ancient, cunning, and deadly. Days passed, but the tension in Black Hollow only thickened. The townfolk stayed indoors after sunset, windows shuttered, and fires burning low. Lucas spent every waking moment preparing, studying the forest, setting traps, and learning the patterns of the shadow that haunted these nights. One evening, Lucas and Sheriff Mark Dalton teamed up to patrol the edges of the forest. The air was cold and thick with fog that curled between the trees like smoke. Their boots crunched softly on the forest floor as they moved cautiously, senses sharp. Suddenly, a sharp, guttural growl cut through the silence. Lucas motioned for Mark to stop. Its claws, a flash of movement, large, muscular, and covered in matted fur, darted between the trees. The creature's eyes glowed an unnatural anger, intelligent and wild. It moved with terrifying speed and precision. Mark raised his shotgun, firing a warning blast that echoed like thunder. The beast stopped, its ears twitching as if considering its options. Then, with a snarl which rattled the air, it lunged. Lucas dove aside, firing his rifle. Bullets ripped through the air, striking fur and flesh. But the beast's resilience was unnerving. It dodged, snarled, and charged again, faster and angrier. The two men fought for their lives in the shadowed woods. Mark barely dodged claws that could rend steel, while Lucas aimed with steady hands, trying to find the creature's weakness. At last a shot cracked. The beast yelped, staggering back, its movement slowed, muscles trembling, but before they could finish it, the wolf vanished, melting into the night like a ghost. Breathing hard, Lucas wiped sweat from his brow. That's no animal. It's smarter than any wolf I've seen. Hunting us. Mark shook his head grimly. It's like it knows the forest better than we do. And it's getting bolder. Back in town, rumors swirled faster than wildfire. A shape-shifting monster, a curse. Some even whispered about werewolves, laughing nervously to hide their fear. Lucas knew this was more than folklore. This was a creature born from darkness, and it was hunting them all. Lucas sat in the dimly lit back room of the town's only dinner, surrounded by yellowed newspaper and brittle books borrowed from the local library. Sheriff Mark watched cautiously as the specialist flipped through pages, each chronicling strange disappearances and brutal attacks in the area dating back centuries. Look here, Lucas said, pointing to a faded headlines from 1872, Massacre in Everwood. Villagers blame the wolf spirit, Lucas said, pointing to a faded headlines from 1872, Massacre in Everwood. Villagers blame the wolf spirit. The article told of a series of killing blamed on a beast with glowing eyes that roamed the woods during full moons. It described an ancient curse placed on the forest after a wrongful execution of a man accused of witchcraft. Mark frowned. You really believe this stuff? Lucas nodded slowly. There's more. The elders call it the Fenrir curse, a spirit bound by dark rituals, cursed to hunt until it can be freed or destroyed. The villagers believed it was a guardian turned monster, angry at those who betrayed it. Later that night, Lucas visited Old Man Graves, the town's oldest resident. The man's eyes were cloudy but fierce. He spoke in hushed tones, his voice thick with urgency. The forest remembers, boy. The curse sleeps but never dies. When the bloodline breaks, the beast wakes to avenge its pain. Lucas listened intently. Can it be stopped? The old man shook his head slowly. Only by breaking the curse chain. You will need more than guns, old magic, old blood. Back at his motel, Lucas examined an ancient amulet Graves had given him, a wolf tooth wrapped in silver. It pulsed faintly with energy, as if alive. He stared at it and thought about the growing terror in Black Hollow. This was no longer a hunt for a beast. It was a battle against a curse that had lived for centuries, a darkness that refuses to be forgotten. Lucas wasted no time assembling his team. He recruited Jenna, a fiercely skilled tracker with a sharp eye, Father Michael, the town's very priest, who knew more about old legends than anyone else, and Tom, a grizzled hunter who had faced every kind of wild animal in the woods. Together they gathered weapons and supplies, silver bullets crafted in an old workshop, traps designed to capture and hold the beast, and ancient charms placed by Father Michael. Every piece was painstakingly prepared for the coming battle. Tensions shimmered beneath the surface. Some townsfolk scoffed at the idea of curses and monsters, clinging to logic and firearms. Others prepared for war, reinforcing homes with iron bars and salt line. At dusk, the group convened in the sheriff's office. Maps spread across the table. Lucas pointed to the hotspot areas of frequent attack and strange activity. The wolf hunt smart, he warned. We need to stay ahead of it. Jenna nodded, eyes sharp. I tracked it to an old cave last night. It's using the terrain, the shadows, even the wildlife to confuse us. Father Michael sighed, clutching his rosary. This creature is a demon of flesh and body. We must be prepared to face not just a beast, but a force beyond our understanding. Tom spat on the floor. I have faced wolves and bears, these things different, but if it's flesh and bone, it bleeds. That night, the town hunkered down. The group set up outposts and patrols. The forest seemed to close in, suffocating, alive with unseen eyes. Lucas checked his silver bullets and tightened his grip on his rifle. The hunt was on. The sky darkened with thick clouds as thunder rumbled overhead. A cold rain began to fall, washing the streets of Black Hollow and turning the earth beneath the ancient forest into slick mud. The town was tense. Every window shuttered, every door bolted tight. Lucas, Zena, Father Michael, Tom, and Sheriff Mark took their positions, spread across the perimeter, watching and waiting. The air was thick with anticipation, the calm before a storm that felt like death itself. Then, from the woods, a chilling howl cut through the rain, long, low, and filled with malice. It was the beast emerging from the shadows. The creature moved like a nightmare made flesh. Its eyes burned like coals, far-shocked and mated, muscles rippling beneath. Around its smaller shapes triad wolves, wild and fierce, but nothing compared to the towering alpha that led them. Chaos erupted. The wolves surged toward the town, snarling and snapping, tearing through fences and barricades. Lights exploded as lanterns were smashed, and the scream of terrified townsfolk rose in a terrible chorus. Locals fired silver bullets, each shot striking true but barely slowing the Alpha. Jaina darted between trees, setting traps that hissed and snapped shut, but the oaths adapted quickly, circling and flanking. Father Michael shouted prayers, clutching a crucifix and swinging it toward the beasts. Tom wielded a blazing torch, driving back the smaller wolves. His eyes wild with desperation. In the heart of the storm, Lucas faced the Alpha alone. The beast charged, jaws snapping inches from his face. With a roar, Lucas fired a silver bullet embedding itself deep into the creature's shoulder. The Alpha roared in pain but refused to retreat. Instead, it lunged, knocking Lucas to the muddy ground. Pain exploded through his ribs, but Lucas fought back with all he had: fists, rifle, and iron will. As the rain soaked them both, Lucas knew this was only the beginning. The beast was not just a predator, it was a force of nature, an ancient curse with fury enough to consume them all. The morning after the savage siege left Black Hollow battered and bruised. The town's spirit was fractured. Homes lay in ruin, livestock decimated, and the death toll rising. The survivors gathered in the battered town hall, eyes haunted and weary. Lucas's team convened in the sheriff's office. The weight of the previous night's carnage heavy on them all. Father Michael knelt in prayer, seeking strength. Jenna cleaned her weapon, tension tightening her jaw. Tom stared at the shattered window, a haunted look in his eyes. Mark paced, frustration shimmering. We are losing ground. That thing knows this town better than we do. Suddenly, Jenna's phone buzzed. A message. A photo of a dark figure, half shrouded, standing at the edge of the woods. Written beneath it, "They are coming for you." The room fell silent. Lucas frowned. Who sent it? Jenna's voice trembled. I don't know, but it's close. Then Tom's face paled. I need to tell you all something, he confessed, voice heavy. I have known about the curse longer than any of you. My family been warded it for generations. Mark's eyes narrowed. Why didn't you say anything before? Tom swallowed hard. Because my grandfather made a pact with the curse to protect this town. But that pact came with a price. Now the curse has been broken and the beast is hunting for blood. Lucas' jaw clenched. You are saying this was all a trap? Tom nodded slowly. There are others, descendants like me. They are protecting secrets that could destroy us all. Tension erupted. Betrayal, fear, and anger mingled in the cramped room. Before they could react, the lights flickered and the windows rattled. The forest outside alive with unseen movement. The beast was closer than ever, and now the enemy wasn't just the wolves in the woods. It was the darkness within. The forest was suffocating under the heavy cloak of fog as Lucas and his team ventured deeper than ever before. Branches clawed at their clothes, and every snap of a twig echoed like a gunshot. This was the beast's domain, wild, untamed, and shrouded in ancient mystery. Lucas gripped his rifle tightly, silver bullets gleaming in the low light. Jenna scanned the shadows with hawk eyes, while Father Michael muttered prayers, clutching his crucifix like a lifeline. Tom led the way, his knowledge of the forest invaluable, but his face was grim, burdened by the secret you'd revealed. Suddenly, a chilling howl pierced the silence. The team froze as glowing amber eyes blinked through the mist. The beast stepped forward, its hulking form casting monstrous shadows, but as it emerged fully, a transformation began. Far receding, limbs reshaping, the monster was no more wolf, it was a man or something trapped between man and beasts. Lucas' heart pounded. The creature's face bore pain, fury, and desperation. It was the tortured soul behind the curse, a man caught in a monstrous prison. "Who are you?" Lucas whispered. The beasts growled low, a voice barely human. "I am what remains of the man you seek to save." A desperate battle ensued. Silver against claw, fire against fury. Lucas and his team fought not just for survival, but for mercy. Between the flashes of gunfire and snarled, Lucas saw glimpses of the man beneath the beast's rage. They weren't enemies. They were victims of a curse that bound them all. The old cabin, nestled deep in the forest's heart, stood like a relic of forgotten times, its withered timbers whispering secrets of ancient rites. Inside, candles flickered, casting long shadows on the walls covered in faded symbols and runes. Lucas, Jenna, Father Michael, and Tom prepared for the ritual that could break the curse once and for all. The ancient text Tom had uncovered described a ceremony requiring the oath's blood, silver, and the pure light of a full moon. Father Michael chanted prayers, their words heavy with meaning and power. Jenna arranged sacred herbs and salt in a circle, while Lucas steadied his nerves, silver dagger in hand. Outside, the forest was silent, as if holding its breath. Then the beasts, the tortured man, appeared at the cabin's edge, eyes glowing with pain and hope. He limped inside, trusting the group despite his monstrous form. The ritual began. Lucas pierced the beast's shoulder, drawing blood that shimmered like liquid moonlight. Father Michael intoned prayer, and Jenna sprinkled the herbs, smoking curling upward in spirals. The beasts cried out pain, and relief whirring in his cage. Suddenly, a shadow moved beyond the cabin, dark, malevolent, and unseen force seeking to stop them. The group held firm with a final surge. The beast convulsed, his form shifting violently. The monstrous fur melted away, revealing a man bruised, exhausted but free. The curse was broken. Silence followed. Hope lingered. But deep in the woods, the darkness stirred, waiting for another chance. The sun rose over Black Hollow, casting a warm glow on a town weary but alive. The forest, once a place of dread and darkness, now felt quieter, almost peaceful. The beast's curse had been lifted, and with it, the shadow that had haunted the town for generations began to fade. Lucas stood at the edge of the woods, the silver amulet around his neck gleaming in the morning light. Beside him, the man who had once been the wolf, now restored to his human form, stared into the trees with gratitude and sorrow. "You saved me," the man said softly. Lucas nodded, the weight of the battle etched in his eyes. "We saved each other." The town began to rebuild. Broken homes were repaired, wounds slowly healed, and the people found hope in the dawn of a new day. Sheriff Mark and Father Michael worked to strengthen the bonds of the community, reminding everyone of the strength found in unity. Yet beneath the surface, a quiet unease lingered. Lucas knew the forest held deeper secrets, and darkness could return when least expected. One evening, as Lucas prepared to leave town, a lone wolf's howl echoed through the trees. Hunching and unresolved, he paused, eyes scanning the shadows. The nightmare might be over for now, but the legend of the wolf was far from finished. The hunt was never truly over. If you want to watch more horror movies like this, please like and comment on the video. You must subscribe to our channel and give the bell icon all pressed. Thank you.